on with the YouTube? Fight fans all over the world, it's your boy, the realest of the real. Yes, sir, I said it. Real Talk Boxing. It is a privilege and honor and a major blessing to be back with you beautiful people yet again. Anthony Joshua predicts a KO victory for Deontay Wilder over Tyson Fury in their up-and-coming trilogy fight, October 9th. That's right around the corner. That is right around the corner. As you all know, I'm not the least bit interested in this fight anymore. I was for the longest, but I'm not anymore. But we do still have time in between that date. So, you know my motto, until the first bell rings for the first round to start, I am not believing anything, especially with these two fighters, about actually fighting. And I got to be honest with you guys, I still feel deep down in my soul like this fight's still not going to happen. I just think that Tyson Fury is going to come up with some kind of excuse or weasel his way out of this fight. I do. And I'll explain that here in a minute. But I want to get to Anthony Joshua, man. Anthony says that Deontay Wilder seems obsessed, driven, and focused for this trilogy match. And he thinks that he's just going to knock Tyson Fury out. I mean, there's a lot of things and a lot of reasons why I believe people and, Anthony Joshua think that that's going to happen. And it's very, very possible. I don't know what's going to happen now, to be honest with you. For the longest, I was saying Tyson Fury is just going to straight up murk this dude like he did in the second fight. That's what's going to happen. But there's inactivity. You know, a lot of people are saying, whoa, man, Tyson Fury ain't fought in so long. Well, Deontay Wilder ain't fought, probably the same amount of time. Tyson Fury's been out. He's been out because they both haven't fought since their second fight, right or wrong. So inactivity is going to play a big part in both sides, Fury and Wilder. It's going to show. I think it's going to be a very, very sloppy fight. I think the fight's going to be very sloppy. I think the fight is going to be unbelievably sloppy because of the inactivity on both fighters. But Anthony Joshua says this dude is driven. He's focused. He has his mind set. We haven't seen much on Tyson Fury, what he's doing. Supposedly he was getting his butt whooped in sparring. He's not looking good. The time off, the aging is catching up with him, and it's starting to show. This is why Anthony Joshua was leaning towards Deontay Wilder a little more, which is understandable, very understandable. Deontay Wilder has implemented Malik Scott, which a lot of people think is the key factor in what's going to, give him what he needs to beat Tyson Fury. I don't really see Malik Scott as a trainer, to be honest with you. I see him more as a motivator, a conditioning coach, so to speak. He's getting Deontay Wilder what he should have been doing years ago, is actually train for a professional boxing match. We all know Deontay Wilder for the longest didn't do no road work, never saw him skipping rope. We see him implementing the rope. I hadn't seen him do any road work thus far. He's implementing weightlifting. He's doing a lot of bench pressing. He needs to get off that bench press and go hit the squat rack, in my opinion, because those legs still are bird-like. And he doesn't look foundation-wise, he doesn't look quite as strong as he needs to be, in my opinion. Deontay Wilder's doing things different, especially in his punch output, the combinations. He's doing different combinations. He's actually weaving. I guess you can call it weaving underneath the hook, and he's actually weaving and throwing a hook to the body at the same time. His hooks do look sharp and they look strong, but when he doubles and triples the hook up, they just go from the first hook looking spectacular to the second and the third looking weak as all get out. His jab looks better. But listen, they haven't fought in a long time, both fighters. You can't just put the inactivity on Tyson Fury. It's also on Deontay Wilder. And even though we haven't seen much physicality and training from Tyson Fury, doesn't mean he's not. But listen, Anthony Joshua said he will take the winner of that fight. It doesn't matter if it's Fury or Deontay Wilder. You know, he said if Tyson wins, who knows? You know, he said he has, you know, people on his hit list. And, you know, he wants to fight White, Chisora, you know. But how ignorant would it be for him not to fight Anthony Joshua should he beat Deontay Wilder in this trilogy fight, if they fight? If he thinks that his time is limited and it's almost time for him to get out the game, then fight Joshua and get the biggest payday ever. You know what I'm saying? That would make more sense to me. But to go on and fight Dillian I mean, I think the only way he would fight Anthony Joshua is if he looked spectacular against Deontay Wilder. I just don't know if that's going to happen, you know, because there's so much time has gone by, and then you got all these rumors about him getting murked in sparring and this and that. But listen, if the inactivity, I do believe, is because he has a world title to defend. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shut me up if I'm wrong. But Tyson Fury has yet to defend a title. I've said this a million different times. And I think this is the reason why there's been so long of an inactivity. A gap in between where he's actually fought. Did he ever defend his unification titles when he beat Klitschko? No. And I believe if he actually would have gotten the WBC belt the first fight against Deontay Wilder, he would have never defended that. The only reason why he went on to fight, in my personal opinion, is because he didn't have the title. That's why he went on to fight different fighters. And then finally he fought Deontay Wilder. I'm not saying that this dude is scared or he's fearful of fighters. There's something going on with him about actually having a title and defending it. You can't factually tell me that he's ever defended any of the titles that he's ever won. He hasn't. Yet, he has not. And he ain't fought Deontay Wilder for the third time yet. Right or wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about defending titles, but it seems like to me personally that he does not want to defend a title. What is going on with that? Am I the only person who sees that or who recognizes that? I honestly believe if he didn't have the WBC title right now, him and Wilder would have been fought that trilogy fight. I mean, you could call me crazy. You could say, hey man, you looking into it too deep. Yo, bro, you going down the rabbit hole, but I honestly believe that's why we haven't seen Tyson Fury fight in so long, because he actually has a title that he has to defend. Now, is Deontay Wilder capable of knocking this dude out? I've said it a million times. Yes. Yes. But my prediction has changed about this fight. Even though I don't give a crap about it, I think that they're both going to look horrible in this fight because of the inactivity. And I don't know who's going to win the fight now. Don't really care. But Anthony Joshua thinks it's going to be Deontay Wilder, and it's going to be by a knockout. Very possible. But Joshua says, I'm willing to fight either one of these guys. Whoever wins, put him in front of me, I'm going to fight him. And I believe Anthony Joshua when he says that, because there's a lot of money to be made, and I think he can beat both of these fighters. I used to say Tyson Fury would have the advantage over AJ, but that's yet to be seen. Let's see how he looks against Deontay Wilder. That depends, in my opinion, it depends on how he looks against Deontay Wilder in this trilogy fight, should they fight. Because I said deep down inside, I think Tyson Fury is going to make a freaking excuse, man. An injury, COVID, something, not to have to defend his WBC title. Don't make sense to me. Can you make it make sense? Can y'all tell me something? Do people even notice that this dude hasn't defended a title? Not saying he's afraid of Deontay Wilder. Not saying that whatsoever. But has he defended a world title that he's ever held? Nah. You can't tell me no different. Because it ain't factual. But let me know something, man. Leave it down below. Let your boy Real Talk know. As always, respect all. Fear none. God bless. The next time Real Talk Boxing, we up. We out of here.